has been a sad day in the old town, Gaz.
It has, Jared. You did a great job, you and Sarah, last night. We celebrated Hall of Fame footballers, and today we celebrated and remembered a Hall of Fame life with Neale Daniher at the MCG, and it was a beautiful tribute, and I'm sure we'll talk about it more.
We will. So we are here for UE Insurance Made for Fans. We have before us Simo and Horse. Ray Chamberlain's on emergency duties this Wednesday night. David Zeta at the Tribunal in a moment. And then first crack preview ahead of round 14. So top of the agenda, the MCG state funeral for Neale Daniher. Heard the final tributes of family, friends and grateful colleagues to a man the football world will never forget.
In recent days, we've heard Neale described as a hero, a legend, courageous and brave, and he was all of those things. But to us, he was simply a brother. A beautiful brother, a little boy, a determined look on his face, flexing on the beach with a whole life in front of him. The one who laughed with us, he teased us, gave us advice, whether we asked for it or not, and always stood beside us. We'll never forget the sound of his big, unmistakable laugh, his quick wit, and that mischievous spark that made him so uniquely Neale.
I've got three heroes in my life, my dad, my mum, and Neale. They're the people who They're the people who have impacted my life most in a positive sort of way. And I'd just like to finish by saying thank you to Neale for making this world a better place. Thank you.
But the most important role of all is becoming a father to our 4 children. Lost Luke, Beck and Ben. It gave him a new perspective on life. He adored being a dad, and it gave his life its greatest meaning.
Another quote from Dad that he referenced has stayed with me. If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. Sorry. So Dad, you are that giant for me. So much of how I see the world, the way I think, the person I strive to be, comes from you. You gave me perspective, you challenged me, and you showed me what really matters. And what made you truly special is that you didn't just do this for me, you did it for so many others. You believed in lifting people up and helping them find their way forward. That's a legacy that lives in all of us.
Dad always said that when life throws you a challenge, you have 2 options. You can flourish or you can fold. And didn't you flourish? None of this was easy. Losing the ability to communicate, to move, to breathe. You could have complained, but you never did. You got up each day and focused on what you could do, and you made the most of every single moment. You could have folded, but you never did.
I remember on one occasion after COVID, I went through a period where I wasn't exactly keeping my health and fitness in check. I played my first game back in local footy after the lockdowns, and admittedly I wasn't in the best shape. As always, I went over to Dad's place the next day and we started talking about the game. Straight away he asked, "How much are you weighing in at these days?" I said, "Yeah, look, tough lockdown, probably a little bit thicker than I used to be, but you know, I'm an inside midfielder now, a bit of a Paddy Cripps build." I could see him grinning as he typed out his response. When the machine finally spat it out, he said, "Well, you're not Cripper, and Cripper's not fat."
In the next week or 2, or the next day, we'll be welcoming a little boy into the world. I know you wanted to meet him, but he'll have your spirit and your laugh. We will forever miss you. We will forever love you.
Like the best of services, there was plenty of chance to laugh and plenty of moments to cry.
Yes, there was, Jared. It was. It went for about 2 hours, and you just sat there, and you could have sat through another couple because you heard these beautiful stories and memories from people who have been so significant in their lives, and it was, it was really emotional at times. And then you sat back, and it gave you cause to reflect on your own life, the way he approached it. Everyone had a message. Every single talker got up there and had a message from Neale that they took into their own lives. And the kids were unbelievable. Beck, Lauren, Luke and Ben, who all got up and spoke. And just, I think his story's been so well told, but today sort of rounded it out. It was just, it was amazing to be there. And then afterwards, the whole congregation filed out onto Daniher Way,
yes,
appropriately, and the hearse made its way through. And I don't know if it's closure, because he's not going to leave us, Neilo. Not after what you hear today, and we'll reflect. Fags was fantastic. He forgot Matty Lloyd's name. It's probably one of the highlights. He goes, who was that forward that kicked all those goals? And then I was talking to Tim about it, and I said, is he doing a bit of shtick here? Is he setting one up? But he wasn't. And then, and then Paul Kelly sang, and one of the things that came through so loudly and clearly was how much he loved his music. And so that was a really consistent theme. And then the two Melbourne boys, Paul Hopwood and David Neitz, got up, and they hit the right tone. Everyone did. It had been emotional going, and then they come up and they told some stories which had the whole joint laughing, and it felt good to have a laugh, after a cry.
So Jan had given the instruction to the mate from the farm, hey, give him a roast.
Yes, he did.
Did a beautiful job of roasting him.
He didn't miss him on the way through.
Nice.
So no, it was special to be there, and I'm sure it was. I think it was live streamed, so people would have watched it if they couldn't have got there. And it's not. It doesn't feel quite real. I reckon there'll be a few beers being had at the moment and stories shared.
I think the family's done a remarkable job of sharing their private grief with the public, and now hopefully they get their moments of privacy.
No, they will. But I think that's right. They've shared this man with all of us, and it's to our great benefit.
Yeah. All right. So the last piece is Saturday's game, where just through beautiful circumstance, Melbourne and Essendon will play, who have such a stake in it.
Yeah, Hamish McLaughlin, who emceed it, did a great job. Opened that. There was the cast was there, and the Essendon jumper alongside the Melbourne scarf, and he said, well, he had a great sense of timing. Neale always did, and here we are on Saturday with his two clubs going at it at the MCG, and another chance to remember him. So pretty appropriate, I reckon.
Yep. A great state funeral in the town to remember a great man, and that was Neale Daniher departing for the last time.